What did you say? What are you talking about? Oh, I'll tell you later. He's just telling a joke. I'll tell you later. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back. So today I thought we'd go ahead and discuss something about someone who left a comment talking about deaf people and being left out of the conversation. So, how does that make you feel? What's the experience? Obviously, myself not being deaf, but I will comment on that a little bit later. But I thought I'd go ahead and let Jenna today talk about, how does it feel as being a deaf person, being left out of the conversation, if it's all with hearing people and, maybe nobody knows sign language or just one person knows sign language and that's it. So kind of talk about, her experience growing up and even now, how does she feel? So go ahead.
Hi. So, of course, being the only deaf person in my family, everybody's hearing, which is fine. I grew up experiencing, quite a lot of the time being left out. That's pretty common for most deaf people who grew up in hearing families. And of course it sucks because, you feel kind of bad or you feel lonely or you feel like, you're missing out on a lot of information. A lot of hearing people learn a lot of things just from hearing through conversation at the dinner table. And so it's hard to kind of catch all of that. You might catch maybe 30% or if you're lucky, you maybe try and read lips and it's a lot of effort, while you're eating at the same time. It's a lot of work, a lot of stress. So I don't know, it kind of gets to the point where sometimes you're just like, just focus on eating, get it over with, and be done, It's like you don't want to put so much effort at the same time. What else?
Maybe, if you've had any problems with your family, relationship-wise, because of that?
I think sometimes, if you get left out a lot, it can lead to some bitterness, especially when you're younger. You don't really understand or you don't understand how to deal with the emotions or whatever, and sometimes it gets really frustrating, but later it gets to the point where you kind of just get used to it and you just find another way to, entertain yourself, or you find another way to get around the issue, So sometimes, you're lucky when the family members, they might put in some effort to, talk to you too, and like my mom knows signs, so meaning, sometimes she'll try to interpret a little bit, but you can't really expect 100% of the time because it is a lot of work for them as well. So, it's really a complicated situation, and sometimes you kind of have to force to make an effort, and be clear, but it's just sometimes it's not appropriate. It's a really kind of a balanced situation.
Right, and talking about being with your family, it's unfortunate. I hear about that happening because, think about it. Maybe not as much today. I don't really know the modern family, but you tend to sit around the dinner table with your family and talk about how's your day and what are you doing, talk about issues, I don't know, politics or whatever you're doing. And at the same time, when you're talking, you're bonding with your family. And if you don't know what they're saying, you can't really have a good, deep conversation, you lose out on that feeling. And I've experienced that working at a deaf school where some of the students, really hate hearing people just in general, or their family, they really hate them because they don't sign with them and they feel left out. It's a similar idea like, I've experienced that. I'm not deaf, but, I hang out with a lot of deaf people, and sometimes I'm the only hearing person there, and it was a little bit sometimes awkward, but more like, if, there's a lot of deaf people that I'm not used to. Maybe I don't understand everything they're saying. I have to ask her to interpret for me, and I'm an interpreter, but I kind of feel like, okay, just kind of nod my head, and I don't really know what's going on, but I just go with it, and then I feel awkward, and then, that's the question, I'm like a deer in the headlights, you know what I mean? And so obviously it's not the same experience as being a deaf person growing up that way with all those frustrations, but, it's kind of a glimpse. If you can imagine walking into a room and everybody's speaking, Russian, and you have no idea how to speak Russian, but they're laughing and having fun, and you kind of just feel like you just want to leave. That's kind of how it would feel. So, really, if you're deaf, try your best to, get yourself involved. I don't know if you have any maybe tips for that.
Just find another way to communicate, like read lips if you can. If you can't, then use paper and pen or use your cell phone, go back and forth that way or whatever. Just find a way and make an effort, but at the same time, it has to go both ways. It can't just be you putting in all of the effort. Make sure you're communicating with your family and letting them know how you feel, and try and do that challenge and make sure that they understand that you're frustrated, and trying to make them see an effort too. Like, luckily my family is always willing to make an effort and always willing to speak clearly, or ask questions and make sure that I'm involved every once in a while. And I don't really have any complaints against my family or anything. Just, it's not perfect, but of course, like, nobody's perfect. I mean, they just make the best out of it.
Yeah, and if you happen to be hearing and you know sign language with a deaf person, obviously ask them first if they want you to interpret, but if you can interpret for them, go ahead. If somebody's telling a joke, go ahead and let them know. They should laugh too. I mean, laughter is the best medicine. Yeah, especially, if that person is sick, you have to interpret the joke for them.
Like you.
I do.
I'm the comedian in this relationship.
We'll see. Look at the Mrs. and Mrs. challenge right here. Yeah. We'll talk about all of that.
Oh, and the train dance.
No train dance.
Yeah, people love it.
Whatever. Okay, guys, hopefully this has helped you to understand a little bit better about trying to make sure all people are involved, like deaf people, or, if you're deaf yourself, how to kind of interact with people so you are involved, and that way nobody's left out. Okay? All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye! The third sign is cookie. And that's signed cookie.